let's talk about a different candidate. So Barack Obama was against the war. Well, it was easy for him to be against the war because he was in he
was in the Illinois State Senate.
He was in the Illinois State Legislature, and presumably from a very liberal place, and presumably his constituents would have been outraged if he was for the war. And so he comes at it from a very easy place. John Edwards was a senator from North Carolina. Politically, it would have been pretty hard for him to be against the war, at least he would have thought at the time. Hillary Clinton has to prove how tough she is. It would have been very tough for her to vote against the war and still get to say, don't worry that I'm a woman, don't worry that they painted me as a liberal, don't worry that I'm Hillary Clinton, but I'm tough, but I didn't vote for the war.
You're right. Before you finish that point, but how difficult would it be for every other candidate if she'd voted against the war right now?
No, she would have been cleaning the house with them. But that's what you get for triangulating and equivocating and being a politician. So now everybody's got to win the primary. So now everybody's screaming from the rooftops. And I guess just slightly to Hillary's credit, she's not screaming from the rooftops yet. She will, though. When the pain gets enough, when the political pain gets enough, she'll squeal. And they'll say, oh, no, the Iraq vote was terrible. It's disastrous. What are you talking about? I'm totally against the Iraq war. And then you have the Republicans who all of a sudden, in mass, had a switch of the so-called moderate Republicans, in other words, Republicans from blue states or purple states, who all of a sudden were like, my conscience. I mean, Gordon Smith crying in Oregon. Oh, my conscience. This Gilchrist guy from, or
Wayne Gilchrist.
Guy from Maryland. Oregon, Maryland. What theme do I see here? He says, oh, my petty little political career isn't important. It's my conscience that matters. Then Then before the election, why didn't you say that? It turns out everybody's conscience swung right after the 2006 election. Man, it's funny how politicians' conscience works. So I always look at people and say, yeah, but how did you vote when it counted? And where did your constituency lie? And how did that affect how you voted? I've become jaded in that way. And it almost never disappoints. And that's why I'm such a big advocate of somebody like Senator Feingold from Wisconsin. Because, man, that guy, he's the only one that I've seen really. I mean, I don't know if it's fair to say the only one, but I can't think of another one that I would say was brave enough to always vote his conscience and not say, well, I'm in Wisconsin, it's kind of purple, it could go either way. Nah, I'm going to be the one senator that votes against the Patriot Act right after 9/11.
Look, on the important matters, there's no question that you can't argue with it. I mean, of course, he's a politician, and I'm sure he's advocated ridiculous subsidies that Wisconsin gets, and he's taken peculiar ethanol votes. But on the important issues, yes, he is stuck to his core, and that's as he ought to.
And so finally, let me come back around to Giuliani. Now, is Giuliani really a Northeastern liberal? I actually don't believe Giuliani believes a single thing. Okay, I think he's authoritarian at heart. I was in New York when he was mayor. Man, that guy loves Rudy Giuliani, okay? And he loves power, and he does not like dissent. If you lived in New York when it was Giuliani time, and to be fair, that Giuliani time quote was a made-up quote, but nonetheless, we'll have fun with it. When you lived in New York during Giuliani time, you knew that Giuliani did not like dissent. He loves his power, okay? So the last guy I want in office now is a guy who's also obsessed with power and presidential power and might abuse that power not only for wars but to grab more constitutional authority. But anyway, my point is, this guy who, in the Justice Department, who did great work in the Justice Department, fair is fair, he really did. He put a lot of bad guys away, did some great work there as a prosecutor. Is going to run for mayor in New York. Republican can't win in New York unless he's really liberal socially. So then he adopts all these pro-gay, pro-abortion, not pro-abortion, obviously, pro-choice, etc., these so-called Northeastern liberal attitudes. And lo and behold, savvy politician that he is, he wins in New York. But now he's running for the primary among the Republicans, where you have to be a caveman to win. And all of a sudden, I hear Giuliani. What does Giuliani say? Okay, yeah, no, abortion? Yeah, sure, no, I'm against it. Well, I'm not against it, but I'll give you judges who'll be against